Hello everyone. Today, I'd like to use an online discussion thread as a starting point to discuss a difficult but carefully considered topic: when someone experiences auditory hallucinations, visual hallucinations, or intense religious feelings, how should we interpret them as the symptoms of an illness or some kind of supernatural communication? This discussion begins with a poster sharing their experience of living with schizophrenia for many years. They describe the main problem as auditory hallucinations where voices seem to enter directly into the brain. Their core argument is that these voices are not necessarily just psychopathological phenomena, but could also be evidence of God communicating with people, even intervening in and manipulating their destinies. To make this idea easier to imagine, they use an analogy: just as computers can process large amounts of data simultaneously, they believe God can also speak to many people at the same time, intervening in different lives in different places. They even go further, speculating that historical myths and religious texts, such as the writing of the Bible, may also be related to this kind of divine communication intervention. Meanwhile, he also targeted modern psychology. He argued that psychology, to some extent, replaced philosophy's discussion of mental issues, but this didn't necessarily mean it was closer to the truth. Later in the discussion, the stance became even sharper. The poster viewed schizophrenia as a byproduct of divine intervention and manipulation, accusing modern psychology of covering up the possibility of divine intervention in the world. He also described how God seemed to influence individuals by playing different roles, like angels, ghosts, or some kind of inner voice, and articulating his demands as a pursuit of justice rather than merely philosophical victory. In the responses, there were also rebuttals within the framework of traditional theology. For example, some argued that a perfect God must be good, making it difficult to accept the inference of evil divine manipulation. If I had to summarize the value of this discussion in one sentence, it doesn't offer a unified answer, but rather allows two explanatory models to clash head-on, one viewing abnormal perceptions as symptoms of illness, and the other as messages and power operations from a supernatural subject. Behind this clash, three levels are simultaneously involved. First, the experimental level: what did I hear? Second, the epistemological level: how do I know what that is? And third, the ethical level: if there truly is a God, would he, or is he, treat people this way? Finally, I want to add a very practical and crucial reminder: religious themes can indeed appear in the delusions or hallucinations of schizophrenia, influencing whether the individual is willing to seek medical help and cooperate with treatment. Therefore, examining religious interpretations and professional medical support in parallel and separately is usually safer and more helpful. I'd like to conclude today's discussion with the question posed at the beginning by the author: if you were the participant in this dialogue, how would you respond? Does God exist? And if someone experiences God through sound and image, how can we simultaneously respect and protect him? Thank you.